Welcome back, familia. Welcome back to Northside LDN. And today we've got a special guest, Kenny Ken. How you doing, bro?
You know what? I am a lot warmer than I was by this time yesterday. It was freezing. You know, we went to the grounds. You know, a lot of people went there with optimism, but I suspect that you're one of the people who just thought there's a good chance it's 0-0. But you know what? I just saw us in the first 15 minutes. I thought, you know what, we could do this. Then when after Liverpool, kind of cleared their heads and they made their first attack, I went, that midfield again, man. That, I don't understand why we haven't bought players, in terms of we know we're short in strikers. We know we're short in midfield. I don't understand why we haven't got some beef in midfield, because that's going to cost us, towards the end of the season. Personally, like you, I think the top four is probably like, how do I say, like when you play a competition, right? It's like, it's not even the third place playoff. You might, but because I really want us to challenge. I want Arsenal to be a team that, wins league championships or challenges them, and wins domestic competitions and challenges the Champions League. That's where Arsenal should be. We've moved to the Emirates 16 years ago. Why are we still not competing with the best teams in the world? Why are we not doing that? I'm with you on this. Hello? North side? You good, bro? Hello, North side. Everything okay down your side, bro? We all good, North side? Hello, everyone. Just waiting for my guy. He's going to let me back in. We'll come back in.
I don't know what happened. I literally do not know what happened. But I'm back. Listen, I'm back. Let me get Kenny back on. Flipping the Wi-Fi at my new place is atrocious.
Hello, North side. What happened, man? I was all right,
sorry, man. I've literally moved place, and my internet here is not that great.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Sorry about that.
You know what? I have one of the me and Claude have the reputation where our reputation for bad Wi-Fi preceded us. Trust me, man. It's one of those. It's one of those occupational hazards. It happens, man. You know what I mean? Especially when you yeah, Rat Army, man. Rat Army. Yeah, but back to what I was saying before, man.
I'm telling you.
I've seen Arsenal win trophies. You've seen you've seen you've been brought up on Arsenal, Thierry Henry, Vieira, Petit. These are the people that the clubs we model on, and all you're seeing is Didier Drogba, Mason Mount winning Champions League trophies. People like Hudson-Odoi, who no Arsenal player getting into that situation. No Arsenal playing, challenge for the league. We've had enough of it. I've had enough. I'm like you, bro. Had enough. And yesterday just made it all worse for me, because it's like, still to this day, 16 years later, we're still in a situation where we're trusting the process. We're having a youth project, and we're nowhere near challenging on the field.
Exactly.
No,
exactly. I
I mean?
I'm not gonna lie. I feel annoyed because most of the time I go into matches with no confidence and thinking I'm not confident, because we can play excellent against Norwich, and then every time we face a top six team, we always fail. We couldn't even beat Man United when they had Carrick in as an interim. We couldn't even get a result then. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, when was I remember when the fans were saying it was the perfect time to face Everton. And then look what happened there. Do you know what I mean? And for this match, only because this is a cup competition. I know Arsenal can beat any team in a cup competition in England, either the FA Cup or the Carabao. So because of that, I thought, do you know what? Let me put my neck out and say, you know what? Maybe we could do it 2-1 or maybe a 1-0. But honestly, that performance was shocking. What did you make of the performance?
You know what? It was one of the things, right? It's the first fifth. It was like, we started out really, we started out on the front foot. We played at a very, very high tempo. But it's like, after we managed to get our second win, there wasn't a second win. Tomiyasu looked shattered. He looked knackered. Smith Rowe looked really what he's been since the turn of December, where he's clearly carrying an injury. He doesn't look fit whatsoever. Why he was on that pitch? Well, he's on that pitch because of the fact that we just haven't got the personnel. Odegaard played way too deep for me. Saka got crowded out. He wasn't helping Tomiyasu. Tomiyasu wasn't helping him. And Liverpool were better than us in every department. Their defenders were better than ours. Their goalkeeper looked more assured than ours, which you wouldn't say. Kelleher and Ramsdale, who's played really well for us. And in midfield, striker, they just looked better. They looked like 2 yards in front of us. Everything they did was quick, and the movement was fantastic. The amount of time Jones had on the ball, he will have players around him, but he still gets us out of that triangle and still manages to make a pass. When an Arsenal player gets a Liverpool player, in terms of like close proximity, he gets robbed. Even when we're in good areas, we get robbed. Liverpool was pressuring us all over the game. They still managed that physical level. And then people try and tell me that, but we're tired and everything. I understand we're tired, but come on, man. This is big level football. The way we're playing off the cuff isn't working against top teams. Trust me, the way that's going to cost us in the top four, because teams are going to work us out. Teams are going to just look at the way we play, try to get on the wings, and they're just going to put two banks of like a full back and the wing back. The winger, and say, look, just hold tight, let the ball break down, and then we'll create space in between behind us. That's how teams are going to play us now, because teams like Southampton, probably West Ham, Leeds, 100% haven't got the players and the mid tactical nous to get to how do I say it, outwit us. But teams like Man United, even Man United, despite the fact that they're in terrible form, they just got, as you said, interim manager, but they've got Ronaldo, they've got Bruno Fernandes, they've got on their day better players than us. So eventually, because they're playing at home and because they think they're better than us, they're gonna work us out as well. Even Everton. You know what I mean? And I think that's where Mikel is going to struggle, because one, his natural football is, for me, defensive, keep men behind the ball, hit teams behind the break, try and play for his win, through the fullbacks. It doesn't work. Let's face it, everyone says we've got this kind of new identity under Mikel, and that it's an evolving process. It isn't really. He hasn't got the players, so he's having to learn on the job, and it shows. It showed yesterday.
It does. It does. I completely agree with everything you're saying. For me, there's no excuse. There's no excuse, Kenny. At the end of the day, we knew that AFCON was coming this year. And that's why when I saw Klopp complaining about it, I said, I don't care. These managers know when these international competitions are going to start and they have time to prepare for it. You're a manager. Why don't you manage and prepare your team and prepare your squad for when you know you're going to be absent of a few key players?
Yeah, exactly.
And we knew that El Nene and Partey will go. We didn't know how far they'd get into the competition.
It says a lot
We've got
that
Pepe still out there.
it says something that we're not worried about Pepe going. We're worried about a Nene going, and it's a player that a lot of the fans don't really rate. He's the sort of player
Exactly,
that you went up to him, right, and you said to him, right, and you gave me instructions, right, can you build me a shed in the back garden? He'll do it. Boom, boom, boom. Because you give him an easy Pacific job. When it comes to like what we need in midfield, a bit of creativity, a bit of a midfield leader of men, he isn't that player. He's a good, honest professional. And let's face it, 6 years at the Arsenal, he's done well. He's done well. Came in January, 2016. We're trying to get rid of him in January 2022. But for a guy to be in that sort of situation, I shake his hand, man. I'll shake his hand because really and truly, man, players like that don't last at big clubs like Arsenal. And that epitomizes everything that's wrong with Arsenal Football Club. Not him, but the caliber of player we're getting in. Hence the fact that, we're still waiting to get in the top four. It'll be our 6 years. 6 years. If we don't get into the top four this season, it'll be 6 years without Champions League football. And we're expecting to attract players when players won't come to Arsenal because we're in the Champions League. But to get the Champions League, we need players like, the players we're talking about, like Vlahovic, that kind of play, Gumarães, top midfielders. But would you go up? Let me ask you a question. If you're Vlahovic and Gumarães and you had a chance of going to a Champions League club or Arsenal, even though Arsenal are offering you probably 30 grand more than what the others are offering you, what would you do?
It depends what I'm motivated by. We have players that are motivated by money and some players are motivated by legacy. Do you know what I mean? So it really depends on the individual and how they look at football. You know what I mean? And not all footballers even like football. We've had footballers come out before and said they're just something they succeeded in.
William Garrett's hate football. Asu Okoto play football for money. In fact, you get a feeling that a lot. David Bentley definitely played football for money.
Yeah,
and I think that's what it is with a lot of footballers now. Is that the love they had for the game went a long time before they actually made it in the first team. I think what's happening is that when they are kicking the ball in the park with their friends, obviously I'm from Finsbury Park, so we're going down to Finsbury Park. We go down the Astro on Market Road, all those. To play our football, we go to the Astro at the Highbury when I was a kid growing up. And we enjoyed our football. But when you get scouted and by a club, and then they put you in an academy, and they tell you, oh yeah, by the way, you've got to train at such and such time. You can't see your mates, so your mates want to go out partying, you can't go. And then what situation is? Oh yeah, by the way, you can't have that McDonald's or that donut because we got to give you a specific diet. And then who knows? After doing all of that, by the time you're 17, oh yeah, by the way, you're not good enough. You know what I mean? And then the ones who are good enough of basically say, you say they have a 20-year career if they start at 18, if he's at 38. In essence, they really got a 30-year career because that's the life. And I think that's probably what they fall out of football is because it's a dog-eat-dog situation in terms of like, if you're not at it, someone's going to take your place. Remember Robbie Fowler, top player at Liverpool, got injured. Michael Owen, at your way, took his place. And Lacazette, he wasn't even at Arsenal first. He was only at Arsenal 6 months. The main man, boom, Aubameyang comes along, take your place. That's it. Football's dog eat dog. It's dog eat dog. You have to maintain your standards. Alan Shearer maintained his standards. He probably was the most difficult player to play with, probably the most assured player, wants to be the centre of attention. But do you blame them? People talk about Cristiano Ronaldo. when he scores, he celebrates and he goes, "Look at the back of my shirt." Unless you're like those players, you ain't making it. And that's
That arrogance is what got him to the top. That arrogance is
yeah,
what pushed him to be
yeah.
breaking records after records,
Definitely.
whether people like it or not.
Do you think Messi's humble? Just because
Nah,
he looks like something. He ain't
nah.
humble. Look what happened with how many strikers have gone to Barcelona on the Pep Guardiola and basically had to leave the club because they couldn't play a Messi. Ibrahimovic, everyone talks of him being one of the most charismatic and best players in the world. Yet he wants to play striker, Messi, and he gets told, "No, you can't play there. It's Messi's team." Yet everyone thinks Messi's humble and Ronaldo's arrogant. Well, hang on here. What's been happening at Barcelona? Why did Neymar leave? Why did Neymar have to go to PSG? Come on, and you say Messi's humble? Come on, do the maths.
Yeah. But you know, it is what it is. You know what I mean? Like it's just people's perceptions. You know, sometimes people that are loud, like myself, can sometimes come across a certain way, and other people can actually be abrupt or rude, but they do it in a very sly way, quiet way, and it slips under the radar. Do you know what I mean? Not everyone that's arrogant, everyone that's got an ego is loud about it. Do you know what I mean? So, it comes
in Arsenal. We used to have players like Arsenal, like the Arsenal I grew up. Thierry Henry. We all see him as this like vavavoom. What's the French of vavavoom? And he's got this classy French line. He was a bee on the pitch. You see how you like your teammates when he didn't pass the ball to him. You see how he roughed up Reyes all those times, and he used to have arguments with people. Even there was one game I was at where it was Man United. We drew 1-1, and he was having I could see him down the tunnel having an argument with Lorraine because Lorraine didn't pass the ball to him so he can get the winner. Terry wasn't a nice player. He wasn't a nice man, Nicholas Anelka wasn't a nice man.
And we don't care because they won us trophies. You know what I mean? You asked me about Vlahovic.
We got nice.
You asked me about Vlahovic. I only see players coming to Arsenal either for a payday or a stepping stone to a bigger club. That is the only two reasons.
Aubameyang came to Arsenal for a payday. When he was at Dortmund, he was getting 70 grand a week. We increased his wages by £110,000 a week to £180,000. After the FA Cup final, he again got another payday. Now, I'm not saying he doesn't love the club, but ultimately, footballers are like boxers. They're like boxers, they're prize fighters. Look at Dillian White. I'm a massive Dillian White fan with Christ and Fury. What are they arguing about? A purse bid. What makes you think footballers are different? You know what I mean? Yeah. But everyone knows their worth.
Even Lacazette wanted to go to Atletico, but I think they had a transfer ban, so he came in. Do you know what I mean? He didn't want to come in. So this is what I don't understand with Arsenal fans, getting onto players, this fan base get behind so many of these players as if they know that they grew up Arsenal, they're through Arsenal just because they're young or just because they're
playing. It's so funny, you know that. You know what?
The best player is an ex-Arsenal fan. Do you know what I'm saying? You don't know the background of most of these players, especially when they're from halfway around the world.
Yeah. Let me say something about two players. Tony Adams, West Ham fan, grew up a West Ham fan. Ray Parlour, grew up West Ham. Jack Wilshere, West Ham, grew up a West Ham fan. No Simpson, no, you know what I mean? And we call them Arsenal through and through. They become, I think what it is that if a player comes through the academy, we assume that they're one of our own. And I suppose a lot of English fans like players who come through the ranks because they think that player is going to be loyal to the club forever, and that doesn't always work like that. Wayne Rooney's Everton through and through, but he still, at the age of 18, went to Man United. It doesn't always work like that. At the end of the day, they're professionals. The day of a one club man and a player stay at the club loyally if they don't win things, forget it, man. Look what Harry Kane trained with us. And then everyone said he's one of our own. But hang on here. That Jamie O'Hara, that pork chop, Jamie O'Hara. Jamie O'Hara was an Arsenal junior. That absolute pork chop wazzock. And he's going, Spurs and Spurs and Spurs. Hang on here. You were with us first. What's going on there, mate? So I don't know why, you know what I mean? Darren Bent played for Tottenham, Ipswich and Charlton. He's an Arsenal fan. He's an Arsenal fan. You know, what's his name?
But this is what they're employees, Kenny. They're
They're
employees. When
employees.
fans are like, oh, well, this player's got to make it, that player. Do you think they care? Do you think if Barcelona come from Martinelli, do you think he's not going? You think Saka, oh, he's through and through Arsenal. You think if Real Madrid or Bayern Munich come from, do you think he's not going to think twice? Arsenal fans think, oh, they get this attachment. And it's like, look, at the end of the
Should
day,
never do that.
every player,
Should never do that.
I want every player to succeed. But I know that our position, and right now we're like bottom of the pack in terms of big clubs. And if a bigger club with bigger ambitions, even if Man City come for these guys, their head will turn. So that's why I never get on board of like overhyping these players.
You've been burnt because you were watching in the era where you saw players, Nasri, basically thought, right, Arsenal not winning anything, not paying me enough money. He tripled his wages when he went to Man City. And there was a story where Nasri, when he was in the car coming out of the Emirates, he was doing high fives because of his increased wages. He even said, why are Arsenal fans having a go at me? I'm professional. I'm not an Arsenal fan. You guys enjoy your third place. He said that in 2012, 10 years ago, whilst I go and get my championship medal. He said that. Fabregas, everyone talks about Fabregas being an Arsenal legend. Is he do me a favour? Says Fabregas, when we were playing Fulham 11 years ago, was at instead of watching his teammates, he was at the Spanish Grand Prix in Barcelona. Says Fabregas. When he was trying to force through the move to Barcelona, refused to train, refused to turn up for pre-season, and refused to play in any pre-season games, and said, I'm not going, and he refused to go to any club at Barcelona. Is that loyalty? Yeah, about like Adebayor, who everyone hates, didn't want to leave Arsenal. He was told by Arsene Wenger, if you don't leave, I'm going to put you in the reserves. So you're going. Van Persie, again, couldn't agree a deal, and he asked a simple question about the players we're bringing in, and then all of a sudden he said no. They tried to discredit him and tried to say, no, I'm going to go there first. Right, I'm leaving. I'm going to go to Man United. So it's one of the things where we always associate him with Man United. It's at Arsenal, but he went and won the title at Man United. Ashley Cole is a different kettle of fish. He's Arsenal.
Yeah.
The Cole family are Arsenal.
And we were winning at the time when he left.
But he wanted he was on 60 grand. No, he was on 50 grand. We only offered him 10 grand. He wanted 90 grand, 30. And he was at the time the best left back in the world. Everyone used to say it in England. And even Penny Sahivi, a super agent, thought he was, and he had a great reputation. He went to Chelsea, won the lot. So it just shows you one thing, as you said, I stopped singing the players' names after Adebayor went to Man City, because what's the point? What's the point of singing "We Got Ozil, Ozil"? Why? What's the point of singing for Lacazette? I never sing their name. Sing for the club, because at the end of the day, football fans should be like players and managers. Never get attached. Because when you get attached to a player, you're not putting the club first. You claim you are, but you're not. I'm an Arsenal. I say this respectfully, right? Arsenal fans have said, "Oh, why do you support Arsenal?" Oh, because Ian Wright. I liked Ian Wright. Say Ian Wright got me into supporting Arsenal. I get suspicious of people like that, because I'm thinking, well, hang on here. What about this beautiful club? I support Arsenal because I'm from Islington, and my mum told me about what a great club and how they won the double. And by the time I was born a year after the double, my mum used to, bore me. No, she didn't bore me. She just, I was tempted to with other clubs. Liverpool were very successful at the time. She wasn't having it. It's Arsenal. She taught me. She said that Arsenal.
Bless your mum then.
He said Arsenal is a respectful club, and that we got a very good reputation. We don't get involved in any scandal. And she said that Arsenal do things the right way. And then, my next door neighbour was an Arsenal's books as well, and his best mate used to play for Arsenal. Got into Arsenal first team, Raphael Mead. So that's how I got into the Arsenal. Everyone knew, in Finchley Park where I lived, and Finchley Park, Holloway area. and Hornsey around the Hornsey Road there, we're all Arsenal. I got taught about Arsenal. It was never the player, it was Arsenal. And that's what I bought into. Yet some players now, like there's one guy on Twitter, he stopped supporting Arsenal because of the way Mesut Ozil was treated over Uyghur Muslims. I was thinking, hang on here. So you're never one of us anyway then. How can you not stop supporting Arsenal as in process of the treatment at Mesut Ozil?
Yeah, it's mad. It's absolutely mad. I mean, with the players, the last thing I'm going to say on the players, football fans are fickle. Yeah, we want loyalty. We want the best players that we have to be loyal to us, but then we want to take the best players from other teams. The only reason Sol Campbell came to this club is because we were winning. If we weren't winning, he wouldn't have come in. Yeah, and we were all happy, and we weren't talking anything about loyalty when he was disloyal to Tottenham. Not that I care about Tottenham, but then he came over here. As soon as our players start seeing that, hold on a minute, Arsenal ain't winning, they're not being ambitious, and Nasri goes, Adebayor goes, all these players go, well, you're a snake, you're a this, you're a that. No, players want to do the best for their career, and fans need to demand the best for the club to be able to attract and put pressure and attract those players.
North side, they don't do that though. That time when Arsenal was at the football club, there were a lot of club fans, and they were saying it. They were writing it down on social media, and they'll go on podcasts and saying that if Arsenal ever went down the Chelsea route or the Man City route, they wouldn't want anything to do with the club. Well, hang on here. Let's get this right. On the evidence that has been presented before me in the last 18 years, I haven't seen any other team other than Man United, and that was 9 years ago, have been able to, and probably Liverpool now, have been able to compete with Chelsea and Man City. I can't see any evidence of doing it. So clearly, the way to compete with these guys and win the league is to have owners like them. Like, I'm not talking about new owners. Forget new owners. Everyone's a billionaire nowadays. Bournemouth got a billionaire owner. Aston Villa got billionaires. It's the type of owner I want is like Abramovich. I want a megalomaniac. I want someone who thinks he's the biggest thing. He's bigger than the players, bigger than the manager, and bigger than all of us, and demands success like yesterday. So his attitude is he's going to pay, and in terms of like getting the right people behind the scenes, the best in the business. If it means poaching them, why not? Look what Bradford said. He poached Peter Kenyon and one of the best scouts in European football, Frank Arneson from Tottenham, because they're the best, right? And then he got the best manager at the time in Mourinho, and then he spent a truckload of money on players in cash, not installments, cash. So if he's spending all that money in cash, poaching the football people from Spurs and Man United, getting the best manager at the time was Mourinho, he wants to win. Because if he spends that money, he needs a return on investment. The same at Man City. And I think Arsenal need that. Because there's no way that this organic process is working, because it's been an organic process since we've won the league in 2004, since the Invincibles. So 18 years and trying to do this organic process, it's not working. It's not workable in today's football. And the sooner Arsenal fans accept that, the better their supporters' experience will be, because we might start winning trophies. We might start competing for the league, winning. Who cares if we spend more money than anyone else? Chelsea didn't win the league for 50 years. Man United didn't win it. Man City didn't win a trophy for 35 years, bro. 35 years without a trophy, 50 years without winning the league. How many Man City and Chelsea fans do you see saying, "Oh, I'm not really happy about that. We kind of did it the wrong way. We kind of outspent our rivals. Wrong thing to do. I mean, I know we've won the Champions League twice, and I know I could tell my grandchildren about it, but it weren't the right way to do it. Yeah, right. Come on. Man City in the Champions League final. For Man City in the Champions League final against Chelsea having a chance of winning it. I can't do a Mancunian accent, but you can imagine it go, "Oh, we haven't won a trophy for 35 years. Oh, I feel really guilty about it." the hell they do. The hell they do. They're celebrating. They're winning banter competitions. They used to be a joke, Man City in Manchester in the Northwest. Chelsea, we used to make fun of them. We used to call them all sorts. Look at them now. You can't have an argument with Chelsea because guess what? They won the Champions League once. They won it twice in our era. We lived to see that.
Yeah, they got 3 more European Cups than us.
Yeah, and they were, you know what I mean? Can you imagine if Tottenham won the Champions League 3 years ago when they played Liverpool? We'd have had to all leave the country.
No. I was a Liverpool fan for that final, Kenny. I was shameless.
I
was a Liverpool fan. I went to the pub. I was a Liverpool fan.
Yeah, but come on.
You'll never walk alone and all that.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong, mate. You know, like, you know what? Let's just say it was actually the same day as Anthony Joshua had his fight with you know, Andy Ruiz, where we spent all the time celebrating Liverpool winning Champions League final, and we thought Anthony Joshua go on, and then you've gone for the euphoria of Liverpool winning the Champions League, and Anthony Joshua getting knocked out. But saying that, I must say, you know what I mean? It's the way I look at it is that if anyone can give me another viewpoint or show me a way where we can compete organically and, you know, and in a way that we can challenge in the next 2 or 3 years, then I'll be happy to, you know, agree with it and change my mind. But at the moment, I'm not changing my mind in where Arsenal got to go. I've resisted calling for new owners. I've resisted going down the Chelsea and Man City route, but I've been beaten. I've had the stuffing kicked out of me because there's no, you know, we've got the Emirates Stadium, one of the best facilities in world football. We've got our training grounds, is one of the best facilities, and you know, in terms of our physio rooms and everything, but we're still not competing. Everything's there for success. What's going on?
Yeah, no, facts. I mean, look at this comment here by Jose Castillo. Big up to you, Barca fan. We won the Copa del Rey with Ronald Koeman, our legend, and then we sacked him. Meanwhile, you still have Mikel. Hopefully, Barca get Gabriel Martinelli. He also said, Northside, you see the difference of Arsenal youth project and Barca youth. That you guys want top 4. Meanwhile, we want to win the league. Your fans need to raise the standards.
He's right. He's right. You know, Jose, you're 100% right. It goes without saying, man. Hello. It goes without saying that, you know, what the standards at this football club, as far as I'm concerned, are very, very concerning. I mean, people seem to forget that we are the 3rd biggest club in the country. 3rd. And it's not, and it's actually not as wide as people have us believe. Man United have won 20 leagues titles. Arsenal won 19. We're next with 13. And we're not just talking about league titles, we're talking trophy haul. Remember, we've won 14 FA Cups. And if you want to get the Community Shield, all right, I'll let you do that. We've won a few of them as well. And we've only won the League Cup twice. We've won 2 European trophies. And we've been close to getting to a lot of finals. So that shows that historically we're a big club. But a lot of our fans don't seem to accept this. They think that we have to go down this organic route, that we have to trust the process. We've been trusting the process for 18 years.
Exactly. Where's it got us? If anything, we've seen teams that we used to comfortably finish above surpass us. Look at Leicester. Look at how they've been finishing above us. West Ham. I never thought I'd see the day, Kenny, where West Ham are in the European competition and Arsenal ain't. And then if they're looking like they're going to finish above us. I'm seeing other teams like Aston Villa crawling up. No, I never thought I'd see it. If you would have told me this, Kenny, in 04, I would have laughed.
But 5 years ago, 6 years ago, they moved into a new stadium where they got where basically they're paying £2 million rent.
Yeah,
the whole stadium is actually being paid by the taxpayer, and it's actually paid by, you know, if you talk about, you know, the 32 boroughs in London, you know, like their council tax. So people in Newham, their council tax is paying for West Ham Stadium. Some people in Newham might not support West Ham. So the GLA have contributed towards it. Boris Johnson, when he was in charge of the mayor, plus our taxes. So, hey, one of my own, Archway, not too far from where I grew up as well, man. Archway, you know, you got Goodstone Walk, you got Ian Dow's Dynamics Gym. You also got Junction Roads. You got Archway Road. You got everything around there. You got Hornsley Rise. My boy, OG.
My girlfriend's
Slim.
from Caledonian Road.
Was that?
My girlfriend lives on Caledonian Road.
Hey, that's one of our own as well. She's one of our own, man. Getting it. Caledonian Road, around the corner, Market Road. There isn't a tennis centre, one of my local gyms. Get in. But you know, as I was saying before, you know, in respect to the, you know, where, you know, Poxton, not too far, another one of our own, man. In respect of where Arsenal are going, I don't understand why Arsenal fans seem to say you're spoiled by success. What's that term? You're spoiled by success, and that, you know, when Liverpool beat Watford in their 29th game, and because they didn't beat Watford, even though they won the title emphatically, Arsenal fans were celebrating the fact that we're still the team that won the league undefeated. Really? After with our record, the fact that we didn't even finish in the top 4 that season, we finished 8th, and we're still battering Liverpool fans. How many Champions Leagues have they won? 6. We've won 0. We should be at that level. And we're bantering them because they didn't go to the league undefeated. Come on, man, Arsenal fans, raise your levels, man. You know, demand more.
Do you think it's the newer fans though, Kenny? Because fans like me, like I was born in '92, yeah. So I've seen us win leagues, I've seen us win doubles. I was young, but I've seen us do it. And do you think it's the fans that have come along from 04 upwards? Do you think those fans have never seen the success, and all they've seen is this mediocrity? All they've ever heard is top 4's is a trophy. All they've seen is on Sky Sports News. You remember back in the day, Kenny, you remember when we used to watch Match of the Day, and it was nothing about top 4 race. There was nothing about Big 6 race. It's about
Arsene Wenger. Arsene Wenger did all of this, because what Arsene Wenger did is that after the Invincibles, it was very clear that Arsenal were behind the 8 ball in terms of competing with Chelsea and Man United. Because in 2005 and 2006, Chelsea won a title. And after that, Man United started to dominate again, and Chelsea was struggling to keep up with them. But, you know, they won the league in between the odd time. Man City started to take control. When Arsene Wenger, in my opinion, put all his eggs in the basket of wanting to win the Champions League, because that was one of the trophy City didn't win it, and he became obsessed with winning it at the expense of us winning trophies. Because remember, we went 9 years without winning a trophy. And then when, you know, the media, maybe the odd Arsenal fan, not so much the Arsenal fan, but media mostly, because a lot of Arsenal fans were still had this Le Professeur, Arsene knows, never questioned Arsene Wenger. When he got questioned, top 4 was a trophy. And then they got questioned further. Oh, I can't compete with my hands tied behind my back. That, you know, in terms of we were paying off the stadium, and then it was a case of that we don't have this kind of. There's 2 markets, one market for everyone else, one market for Chelsea. So me getting top 4 was a fantastic achievement, and he's basically achieving something and gets along. Well, let me tell you something now, the truth about that. From about 2006 up until about maybe 2011, the top 4 was a close shop. No, 2010, the top 4 was a close shop between Liverpool, Arsenal, Man United, and Chelsea. Man City weren't part of the equation then. They were still in their infancy. And basically what was happening is that because they were the top 4, they were in the Champions League regularly, which means they got greater revenues than anyone else. They were able to get a better caliber and player than any teams outside the top 4. Plus, The salaries they were paying the players was higher than anyone outside the top four. And in terms of like capital, in terms of match day investment, especially Arsenal, they were outstripping everyone else. So it wasn't a difficult achievement to get in the top four because financially you were ahead of the 8 ball in terms of the teams outside the top four. Two, caliber of player, and what you're paying the caliber of player as well. So when he comes out with this nonsense that top four is a trophy and that he was achieving near on impossible, it's a lot of rubbish. But what happens with young fans is that younger fans are influenced by, dare I say it, people in your industry. Not so much yourself and Lee, but you and Lee and Mate and Diesel and probably and sorry, you definitely, Dan Potts, are unique in the sense that you are YouTubers, you're presenters. So Diesel's now a presenter, you're a presenter, Lee's a presenter, and Dan is more or less the presenter for Lee judges his channel. You four guys are demanding higher standards. You demand that Arsenal, as the third biggest club in the country, should be challenged for the league on a yearly basis, and that we should be winning one of those title races, if not two of them. You demand that Arsenal, not only should they be in the Champions League, they should be winning at least once because of the size of our club and the reputation of the club. You four, unfortunately, in a minority because you've got, what I call, some people may call them other things. They like to call themselves as level-headed. I call them, wannabe journos, or I call them what they like to be called, the thinking man's podcaster. I don't have no passion, don't rant and rave, speak in a very calm way, unlike the way I'm speaking now. Those sort of fans have stolen the narrative from all of us. They basically kicked us in the touch and made us the minority. And let's just say they made us like the black sheep of the family. Because
the scapegoats.
They're the ones that can get presented to the Queen and shake hands with the Queen or shake hands with heads of state. Us, we're just one of those people who said, no, don't have him there. He's going to eat with his hands and not eat with knife and fork. And that's how we're treated because we got a different view. Younger fans listen to those podcasters who are trying to provide or present an organic view of how football should be run. They're against things like alleged financial doping. They want to trust the process. They hate ranting. They think that players should be given a chance, even the players that are clearly not good enough for the football club, and managers should be given time because that's how Arsenal have always been. Arsenal's always been a club that has given managers time. There's only two managers that never got time at Arsenal in the years I supported them. Unai Emery, Bruce Rioch, common denominator. The club didn't really want them.
But Kenny, when it comes to this, I hate when people say level-headed. Listen, players come in all shapes and forms, so do fans. My background is Portuguese and African. I come from the African side of I come from the Portuguese side of Africa.
Which card? Cape Verde or Angola?
Yeah, so my mum is Angolan and Portuguese, and my dad's from Cape Verde. When we speak, we always speak with our voice loud. That's just how we speak. So when people are on YouTube, one thing Arsenal fans need to realize, it's not always a run. We're all brought up differently. For my culture, the way I speak is normal. It doesn't mean I'm arguing. It's just our bass and our volume is a bit louder. Now, if that's not for you, cool. That doesn't mean that I can't be level-headed because I speak with bass or I'm passionate. Or when I get mad, I start swearing in Portuguese or something like that. That's just me showing who I am because that's my roots. And I don't understand now. There's this snobbery about, you got to be very calm and collective. Look, at the end of the day, as long as I never sit here and swear, I never go online. Like I say my opinion on my channel. I never go onto Instagram or anything, start going directly to players and managers, even Arteta, which I don't believe in, and start abusing him. I say my opinion and I get mad when I feel like the players are being snobby or this manager's being snobby, as if he can't be questioned. He's an employee of this club, and I will hold him to what he does, because at the end of the day, you're here to do a job. I'm not going to lower my standards, because at the start, Kenny, everyone was saying that us being out of Europe, oh, it's the perfect time for going for top four. It's the perfect time to win the FA Cup. Perfect time for the Carabao. And now that we're out, and now we're not in the title race, we're not in the FA Cup, we're not in the Carabao, people lower their standards. Why is it wrong for people like me and you to say, hold on, the standards don't get adjusted midway through his job? When you go for a job, they tell you what they expect of you. If you don't hit those targets, you are fired. Why is it any different in a footballing sense? The manager comes in, he has targets. If he doesn't hit it, we don't lower those standards so he stays.
What if the manager, and I believe, although people are free to sort of question me, what if he's been given a blank check? And I think that's the thing. Like, you're talking about level-headed fans. I think ultimately it's not just the ranting and everything. It's the fact that, you know, it's about questioning Arteta. Because at the end of the day, you look. I think what's happened is that you've had fan TVs, you know, Arsenal fan TV. Let's be honest, Arsenal fan TV, and then they got a reputation for which was. Let's face it, there's been other channels that started out the Wenger out narrative way before Arsenal fan TV. It's only because a lot of people watch Arsenal fan TV that people think they started kind of invented the narrative. They never did. It's like one of those things. If you've got a bigger platform, then everyone thinks you invented everything. For instance, they invented watch alongs. People were doing watch alongs before them, but people think they started a watch along genre because they got a bigger channel. But getting back to Arsenal fan TV, what happened with Arsenal fan TV is because they were seen as abusive towards Arsene Wenger and abusive towards players who weren't performing. What was happening is that they got a bad press from the media, particularly Sky Sports. So Sky Sports kind of ridiculed them and ridiculed the characters in there, which I thought was a bit too strong. Obviously, Gary Neville, remember that Gary Neville situation as well.
Yeah.
So what's happening now is that people who go on things like Arsenal fan TV know what doesn't work in TV because they've learnt from the kind of the narrative that Arsenal fan TV were given. So nowadays, you've noticed that Arsenal fan TV, stable, get interviewed by Sky a lot. The owner of Arsenal fan TV always gets interviewed by Sky. He's getting interviewed by Sky for a lot of times, because they think he represents Arsenal. But he perhaps realises this, so he's not going to. He never ranted a rave anyway, but he'll probably be advising his people, if you've got, remember what you're representing an Arsenal Football Club, don't slag off the manager, don't ask for him to go, and like I said, rein it in. So that's what's happening now. A lot of people who are now seen as leaders of the club in terms of like the level-headed people who are behind Arteta and ultimately behind the young players, that's what gets you into the mainstream because, they've seen that that's a formula. Now, some of them, I know factually, do not believe some of the stuff they say. I'm not talking about AFTV. I'm talking about a lot of podcasters in general. Some will think, right, I don't want to associate with me because I am like the wet noir of the fan base. I've been expelled many times by the Arsenal fan base because of my views on Arteta and my refusal to join accept anything less than Arsenal and being the third biggest club in the country. So a lot of people I used to have dialogue with don't talk to me no more. I don't get invited in their podcasts.
Yeah, but Kenny, you're at the end of the day, football is a service. Every club is offering a service. When you go to match, I see that you go to matches and stuff. You pay to go there. So you're a paying customer. And if you're a paying customer, whether you're paying, because even if you've got a Sky package, whatever, this is also paying the club. So they get a percentage of that. If you're a paying customer of any business, even if you go, let's say a restaurant, let's keep it simple. If you go to a restaurant, you're a paying customer. If you don't like the food, have you not got the right to complain? Have that restaurant
I don't know, mate. Hey, bro, I'm from Islington, mate. I always tell my wife and my relatives, please, man, don't complain for food too much, man. You don't know what they're going to do to my burger, mate. I always say, hey, you know the one, like so you go to a burger place and you're rude to the woman behind the till, or you're rude to someone, and all of a sudden, oh, the burger's dropped on the floor. Oh, should I put it in the bin? No, I'll just give it to him, and I'll put some lettuce and I'll put some onions in there. He won't notice. Or you're sweating instead of wearing a hat. You went, oh, that guy's been rude to me, so the sweat goes in the food, or you sneeze and it goes in the cup. No, mate, I know. I've heard horror stories about complaining about food. I never complain about the food. If the food's that bad, I'll walk out because I just can't. I can't be poisoned by these people. But you're right. Theoretically,
well, you get the analogy I'm getting at. You get what I'm getting at. It's like you have the right. You do have the right to complain. That manager of the restaurant can't turn around and say to you, "No, well, this is our process, and that is it, and that's what we're giving you, and that's it." You could be like, "Well, hold on, I've paid for a service, and you've not matched that." It's the same with football. At the end of the day, you grew up seeing Arsenal win. I grew up seeing Arsenal win. Let alone all we're asking for is to be competitive. Even the season we came second to Leicester, we wasn't competitive that season.
Exactly. Spurs were the one. Spurs were challenging for the title, not us.
Exactly. So for us to not even be challenging Kenny, not even challenging, because no one has the God-given right to win. No one can say, "Oh, we have to win right now." No, but you do. You can demand challenging and competing. We haven't been doing that. Since Arsene Wenger saying that people can't compete, how has Leicester become a top 6 club? How have Spurs, a team that doesn't even spend that much money, how have they pushed up there? How was West Ham? It doesn't make any sense. And you said something I wanted to get at. You said something I wanted to get at quickly. You also said, Kenny, you're like, if there's a process that that you would want to back. Look, we've got the perfect example in the Premier League. Arsenal are the 3rd biggest spenders in this league. Yeah. And in the top 5 is Liverpool. Now, Liverpool have got rubbish owners, but a world-class manager. We could have went for Antonio Conte, but then we keep with this process nonsense and keep Arteta in instead of going for the best candidate. It doesn't make any sense because Liverpool.
You know what I was saying? You know what I was saying? I was talking to a lot of people today, and I think what's happening, right, is that when you've got a top manager, normally, if you're interviewing for a job, you have to impress me if I'm on the panel. But the problem is that top managers in football interview you. The first thing they're going to want to know, they're going to want to know how much money they're going to spend, and they want to know who, they want to look at the players they're working with, and they're going to think, right, can I improve this player? And then what they'll do is they said, right, who's a guy that I'm going to work with on transfers? Can I get on with him? Is he good at his job? And is he got the contacts to get me the players I need? So they're going to look at all those sort of structures. Managers who Arsenal may have employed would have thought, nah, no way, because these 3, objectives haven't been met, or maybe one of them has been met, or the other 2 haven't, or 2 haven't met, and the other one hasn't. But what's happening right now is that the way Arsenal is run organically, we have to accept that no one's going to be an Arsene Wenger who's going to be at the club for nearly 22 years, or Sir Alex was at Man United for nearly 27 years. The managers that we should be getting are only going to be here for 2 or 3 years. Pep is basically how I say it. He's actually a longer serving manager of that caliber because he's been at Man City for now 6 years. But it's always
only because he's winning, Kenny. It's only because he's winning. You don't change it when you're winning.
He's winning. But what's happening? Managers like that can get restless. Remember, he left Barcelona when they were at the top. He didn't obviously win the league that season because Mourinho won it. But when he left Barcelona, they lost to Chelsea in the Champions League semi-final for his set into Real. You know what I mean? So what's happened is he left Barcelona in goodish shape, and he was only at the helm for about 4 years, and he walked. So if we're looking at managers that, you know, the top class managers, they don't stick around for long. So if they come to a club like Arsenal, they need to win now because their reputation on the line. They have to win now. There's none of this organic process because look at Ancelotti. He went to Everton. He's one of the best managers in the league. But you'll have Arsenal fans who think he's crap because he couldn't get Everton in Europe. But it's fucking. But come on, are Everton going to give him the money that Chelsea gave him, or are Everton going to give him or provide him with the caliber of play that he was getting at Chelsea, Real Madrid, or AC Milan, Bayern Munich? No. So he's going to think, right, my reputation's on the line. Sorry, mate, I've done my bit. I've served my 18-month contract. I'm off. And he's gone back to Real Madrid, where he's working with better players, better expansion, and the top people in football. That's the sort of caliber. And I think, you know, that's why I want an owner with a massive, massive ego, because I want him to get the top managers, and we get our success. If they want to go, off you go, the next thing. You know, and that's the thing. And we're only going to be getting those kind of managers if we play. Look at Chelsea managers. How many of Chelsea managers have you got and you thought, you know what, he's top class? Tuchel, great reputation. Ancelotti, Mourinho. You know, obviously, you know, there's managers that have gone there that haven't filled a reputation, like, you know, Scolari, the Brazilian World Cup winner. But a Brazilian World Cup winner could go to Chelsea because of what the structure. They tried going organic with Villas-Boas. Obviously, you're Portuguese, so I understand Villas-Boas. You know, the youngster, right? Right. I said that impressive, by the way. You know, Bruno Fernandes. You know, and all that. You know the pronunciation. Anyway, very good. You know, you know what basically the situation is. They went down there. The players weren't having it. Drogba, Petr Cech, you know, Frank Lampard, John Terry, all these other players. So they got a mate in, Di Matteo, and they basically ran the dressing room. When Chelsea got the Champions League final in 2008, they had Avram Grant. It bloody also Avram Grant. Avram Grant did nothing. The players ran the team, ran the dressing room, and they managed to. They only won the double of the Premiership and the Champions League. They lost the Premiership by 2 points, lost the Champions League on penalty kicks to Man United. So it's one of those things where, you know, top class managers are not going to be there for a long time because football's changed.
Yo, big up. Love the Cockney Portuguese twang. Listen, you got that was okay. That was good, you know. That was solid. that was solid.
Bush. Bush.
You know what? It's funny, isn't it? It's kind of like you know what's funny with language, yeah? The people that are colonized by them, they can't even improve the language. Like us, yeah, like in Angola, Cape Verde, whatever. We don't do the je so much. Like in Portugal, like from Portugal, it's more smooth, like Brazilians. And like all the Latinos as well, yeah. Like in South America, they speak Spanish a little bit more clearer.
Spanish is different. Their Spanish is classier.
Yeah, because the one from Spain is too all the time.
You know, like it's proper Spain. You know, cafola.
Yeah.
In Paraguay, it's cazola. You know, cazola.
Yeah.
But Spain, cafola. You know what I mean?
All my Spanish subscribers are not gonna unsubscribe now.
No. But I'm not saying it is. But I think what's happened is that it's like English, isn't it? You got English. We speak English, but in America, their verbs are different. And then you got Australia, which is an English-speaking country, and then they have a different language, the spelling as well, isn't it? Like Australians and Americans, they leave out they don't have it. They have OR, and in England we have OUR. You know what I mean? So you're right. You know, like
language evolves, isn't it? Language evolves. You know what I mean?
Language evolves, yeah. And you know, sometimes when I hear Cristiano Ronaldo speaking Portuguese, I went, "What the hell is he talking about?" And I hear the Brazilians. It's nice, it's beautiful. It's like, you know, it's a samba beat. You know what I mean? You know.
Yeah. Listen, trust me. Listen, I'm gonna. It is what it is, isn't it? It is what it is. But the African Portuguese, I'm telling you, you're like the accent. It's a lot smoother in the ear. I'm telling
All
you.
right.
But we're out here, man. We're out
I've
here.
got to come to Angola or Cape Verde.
Yeah.
Round
Cape Verde. Oh, I didn't even know the English now. They love Cape Verde now, man. Always go in there because they kind of marketed it. They marketed it as like a African kind of Caribbean island kind of thing because it's just off the coast of Africa. It's kind of got that kind of Caribbean feel to it.
What's that? Is it like Cancun? Is it like like how people from Britain, they went to Mexico, but they don't go to Mexico. They go to Cancun, which is another one they colonized as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I've been with the boys, but yeah, we're not gonna. It
What's
was
it like
mad. Now, listen,
What's it like Cancun? Obviously, I want to go where there's probably not too much noise because I'm an old man at the moment.
what do you mean? I thought you're 21. Yeah, I mean.
I know, I'm 21.
Well, yeah, man. No, Kenny. I mean, let's get your last thoughts on the manager. I mean, is this the manager for you? What do you think? What out of all cup competitions, what would you like to be the next manager? Do you want a next manager? Do you want to continue with this manager? Like, I don't want to put words in your mouth. What's your thoughts?
All right. This is my deal, right? If you're gonna go down the organic process, if you must, and you've got to ask people to trust the process and go youth project. Well, the best component of that is Ten Hag at Ajax, because he is basically Ajax. Let's face it, Ajax is still seen as one of the best academies for young players. But the problem with Dutch football, it's not marketable enough. Their players aren't earning enough money. So basically, Ajax are basically preparing players for Juventus, Bayern Munich, or Barcelona, or even Real Madrid. So, Ten Hag has a job in his hands. For him to have got to the Champions League final when they would have played Liverpool would have been the best achievement in football. 2 years before that, they got to the Europa League final where Man United basically devoured them. It's like an alligator against a like a small donkey, because it was just a gulf in terms of like wealth in that final. And he's done well to kind of compete and get to that kind of level. Now, if he really wants, so serious about that organic process, get him. Why not? Get him. He's used to working like that, but again, he might stick two fingers up to us. Well, hang on here. I've done my bit in terms of going through organic processes. I'm now a top manager. I should be going to Juventus, Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, which he was holding out for anyway, or the big jobs. Maybe he ain't going to come. He's only going to come to Arsenal if we're serious. We've got excellent people behind the scenes, and he's got a genuine budget because, and he's going to look at the players and he's going to say, well, nah, I don't feel I can work with him. Get rid of him. Look, there's rumours with Rangnick. He's not really a manager. He's one of those sort of. He's a talent spotter, and he's one of those people, nerdy people in football, that talks about systems and processes and all that. But there's rumours that he's gone to Man United. Look, the squad right. Maguire's not good enough. Wan-Bissaka's not good enough. Luke Shaw's not good enough. At Braden them, you'll prove. He's gone there and he's been there 5 minutes. And I think that's what managers can do. Conte's probably one of the best managers in football because he went to Chelsea and he managed to get Victor Moses into one of the best wing backs in the country. Victor Moses, who was an attacking winger at Wigan and Crystal Palace. At Chelsea, won the title. You know what I mean? That's why a lot of our fans wanted the Conte, because we know that run-and-mill player, he can turn them into top class players, in my opinion. And Arteta just hasn't got the experience to do that. I mean, his man manager is atrocious. I mean, come on, Saliba, Guendouzi, Aizen Maitland-Niles, and now Oba. I mean, what were they all late? Did they all refuse to say sorry after twatting a Brighton player? Really? What did Saliba do?
You know, Arteta's looking like the substitute teacher that can't get the class under control. That's what he's
Well,
looking like right now. Do you know what I mean? And
it's like,
honestly, I just feel
mm,
like none of these Arteta ins can tell me that he's gonna outdo Klopp and Guardiola. So if he's not, if he's,
but they think he will. They think he will because I think that, you know, the reason why is because I think you speak to many of Arsene Wenger, Jose Mourinho, and Pep Guardiola, and maybe Jurgen Klopp. Arteta has a lot of brownie points in terms of, like, you know, maybe his whole sessions or something. A lot of people think that he's going to be a top class coach, and that, you know, and that every club in the world would be lucky to have him.
but what's that
You know,
based on, Kenny?
well,
Because it's not based on
I
his
don't know.
CV.
Well, he hasn't got a CV. His CV's we are his CV. We are his CV. But I know what you're saying. But Arsene Wenger, you know, Pep Guardiola, you know, and in Mourinho themselves, there's a lot of people inside football in terms of, like, managers as well, think that Arteta is going to be a top class coach. Who am I to argue with that? But at the moment, if Arteta becomes that top class coach, that's when we should have got him, not when he's learning on a job. You know,
Yeah, but Kenny, hold on. When people say that, yeah, because he was next to Pep, okay, cool. The greatest manager we've ever seen in the Premier League era, Sir Alex Ferguson. He had
yeah,
multiple. He would change his assistant managers all the time. How many of them became top coaches? And none of them can answer that.
well, they're all, well, McLaren. I mean, how many jobs did McLaren get sacked from? Already,
Exactly.
you know what I mean, at Fulham. So you are right, but the thing is that for some reason there's a lot of people, you know, in the media who think that Arteta is brought in a structure. I haven't seen it. That he's getting the players to play in a more professional way, and that they can actually see Arteta building something. You know, who knows? If we get in the top four, they may feel that they're vindicated with their opinions in what they think Arteta can do. But people like yourself and me haven't got time to wait for Arteta to get to that level. We haven't got time because, you know, we are lagging further and further behind our rivals. I mean, 6 years without a Champions League. Now, don't get me wrong. Liverpool went through that process. Look how difficult it was for them. You know, your lifetime, you were born when the Premiership started.
Yeah, I've never seen Liverpool be successful in the Premier League.
30 years later, it's taken all your lifetime for Liverpool to finally get it right. And even then, they're still, unless they, you know, start freshening up that squad, they can, you know, do what Spurs did under Poch, although they've won trophies. Under Poch, Spurs were playing kind of Liverpool kind of way, although Liverpool got probably more killers than Tottenham. But Spurs basically ran out of gas because they never fine-tuned their squad. And that's one of the things with Mikel Arteta is that you can't give him a blank canvas. There's got to be a time when there's got to be a cut-off period where you look at his, you know, his second full season. Right, give me his second full season. If there's no top four, no Europe, then he's got to go. Surely, it's not because he had a day. He's not even doing the basics, and we think that, you know, that they shouldn't even be on the table. But if you can't get to Europe with the players that, you know, the young players that everyone lauds, then something's wrong. Surely,
Kenny, we are the only club that give we give our manager money and then the expectation actually drops. When Ole got all that money and they were supposed to be doing this and that and ripping up trees this season, when he underperformed, he got sacked. When Lampard got given money, he got sacked. But at Arsenal, this guy can keep spending year on year out. It's been 2 years. When does he become accountable? And that's why I haven't even on the owners.
You know, Ole and Big Frank, if he finished fourth, like he did in his first full season, that would have been successful at Arsenal. If Ole got the results where he finished third in his first full season and finished second in his first full season, didn't lose an away game, got to, you know, the junior competition in Europe in the final, that Arsenal fans would be having a street party for that, because that is kind of the standards that they would accept as a way of saying, well, Arteta's doing a really good job. we are getting genuine progress. And I think in real terms, you're probably right. You're probably right because really and truly it's an evolution. But it's Man United. Man United, they're the biggest club in the country, in the world. Those results, they're not Man United results. He's got to win the title. He has to win the title.
Look how far they've fallen, Kenny. Look how far they've fallen. All I've seen that club do is dominate and win and win and win. And now, you know what's so funny? Before Fergie left, I was telling, because half my family are divided, half are United, half are Arsenal. And I told my cousins that were running their mouth, I said, you're going to see, once Fergie leaves, you're going to see the pain that I've been going through. And you know what? Those cousins, they ain't been watching Man United matches for now 8 years.
It's funny you say it, because you know there's a guy called Andy Tate. He did I think he's on one of these Man United channels.
Yeah, United stand, I think it is. Yeah.
No, he's not the United stand.
Is it not United stand?
No, he was on the Full-Time Devils. He actually had a song come out.
Yeah.
He actually had a song, and it was like it was a rant. But on on the chorus was "Since Fergie left, 6 Fergie's gone." And
I saw that.
The gist of the song was Man United have gone downhill since, and he went through every manager they had, because Mourinho was the manager at the time. So he went through Moyes, Van Gaal, and Mourinho, and he went 6 Fergie's gone, and that was the last line of the actual chorus, 6 Fergie's gone, and I laughed my head off. But it's actually poetic in the sense that, you know, you were able to see that. The reason why you were able to see it, because you always felt that Man United just did enough to win a title. There wasn't this kind of like dominance that they had when they won the Champions Leagues and that '94 team. It was like done enough. And then when Fergie left, you found that certain players who were suppressing their true nature became prima donnas under Man United since he left. I mean, can you imagine Jesse Lingard doing and Pogba doing what's that? A shoot dance when they're dancing on one leg. Can you imagine it? Shoot under Fergie, Roy Keane? Come on.
I'll throw one of the Lucozade bottles at his head. Kenny, I knew that team was falling apart when I started seeing the rumors of Moyes getting linked. I said, Moyes for manager of Man United, big Man United. I said, nah, I can see there's no structure here. There's no footballing people working on this. Do you know what I mean? My cousins used to laugh. They laughed because the last 10 years of Arsene Wenger were absolute joke. The last 10 years were absolute joke. We weren't doing enough. And he was laughing, Arsenal, you lot are jokers, blah, blah, blah. And I said, don't worry, cool. Don't worry. Your time will come. And now his time comes. He can't take it. He can't even watch a match. I got him on the channel. He was part of when I made my first 10 videos. Yeah. He didn't want to get involved anymore because he knew where his club was. He knows he's right next to Arsenal in the dumpster. Do you know what I mean? So he don't want to watch it anymore.
You see, that's the thing. The problem is that they're still players because of the Man United name would go there. I mean, obviously, you know, they still spend big money. They spent 80 million on a Maguire. They spent 90 million on a Pogba. They spent about that. They spent 89 million on Lukaku. I mean, who'd have thought it? You know, Lukaku has gone for in two. He's basically how much? He's probably a 200 million pound plus player, and that's on 2 transfers: Man United, Everton to Man United, and Internazionale to Chelsea. Yet, you know, all intents and purposes, he struggled at the bit. He struggled at Man United. Well, I think Man United should have given him time and just, you know, because I still think there's a player, and Chelsea's just not been on the side around him. But all intents and purposes, that's a lot of dough for a player. But, you know, and Harry Maguire as well, who we believe that Rangnick doesn't want, 80 million quid, but, you know, chuck it down the drain. So all right, they're not going to, you know, buy a spine, but to keep their fans happy, big player, boom. The money's there because Man United have probably earned more money since they have won the league than when they're winning the league, because Fergie's put them on the map. He's made them $1 billion industry.
Yeah, no, facts.
And you know, his predecessor, you know, if you look at Man United, just before we go, historically, They've only had 2 great managers and 2 great eras. Sir Alex Ferguson and Matt Busby, 2 Scotsmen. Apart from that, in between that, Man United have always struggled to get to the top, and people don't look at that organically because of the Fergie era was so dominant. But look, if you go in the history books and you speak to any Man United fans, old men, old boys, they'll tell you that they've only had 2 real successful eras under just 2 managers. Both of them that were there for over 20 years.
But there you go. There you go. I mean, I grew up with Fergie, innit? I grew up with Fergie, 92. I grew up just seeing Fergie. So, yeah, that guy, if he wasn't there, Man United, we would have won so many more leagues. But it is what it is. It is what it is, man.
I don't know, man. I think what it was, right, you know what, man, those times, man, back in the days, 98 and 99, I think we were slightly better than them, I think even they knew we were better than them. And because they respected us. And then when we won in 2002, 2004, just when they were trying to think, right, let's compete with Arsenal, Chelsea came along and made it free a crowd. And then we became the crowd.
I remember being in the CAF. I was doing my apprenticeship, Kenny. I was doing my apprenticeship to be a gas engineer. Yeah, it was actually a guy. Good guy's Arsenal fan, actually. Big friend of mine, like an uncle, Tony, Jamaican guy. And we were there in the CAF, and I seen how Chelsea been bought. And I was like, what the hell? Because back like early 2000s, people, if you're too young, yeah, you'll go to the CAF, your local CAF or the pub, whatever, you get the Sun paper, and you know what I mean? You'll be reading it, you know what I mean? And you're having your breakfast, and this Instagram stuff, you know what I mean? And I just seen it, them getting bought, and then I saw the big time players. A lot of Portuguese people started supporting.
They bought Crespo, they bought Mutu, they bought Wayne Bridge, they bought Johnson, Joey Cole. They bought Petr Cech, but he was coming next season. They'll get a dropper. They were spending money like it was water, and they'll pay cash. But ultimately, it was best thing that has ever happened to Chelsea fans, at Chelsea Football Club. But worst thing that happened to Arsenal, because the white flag came out. We just accepted we couldn't compete. And right now, even though we're a bigger club than them, they become more valuable to us because of the fact that they're more marketable because they play in bigger competitions than us.
Well, their manager was going to buy Tottenham, so it's kind of a blessing he went for Chelsea, because I couldn't stand Tottenham having all this success.
Don't know but sometimes, right? Spurs just don't get all of that. I mean, they've got Conte, they had Mourinho. I mean, and they played this. They had a really, really excellent team and Pochettino, and somehow they found a way not to just balls it up. And I think maybe we always have a saying, they Spurs it up.
This is the history of the Tottenham.
You Chilena, yeah, but Spurs it up, or they use that word Spursy, but I'll tell you one thing: if they get it right, man, we're going to be suffering for the rest of our lives, like we made them suffer when we successful under Georgie Graham first, and then Arsene. We really, trust me, those poor son. I'm glad it was lovely watching suffer. Can you imagine it? Cole Campbell in his first season.
That's lovely.
You think about it. Look, if the boot was the other, let me tell you something now, North Side. If they had won the Champions League, they would have been making our lives hell. Hell. So, you know what I mean? I don't feel no guilt whatsoever for enjoying the situation. But you know what? We're both in the same sort of situation. We know both clubs are nowhere near competing at all. You know what I mean?
Fallen giants, man. Fallen giants. And listen, people, we're going to end on that. I'm going to give Kenny Ken his weekend back. Have you got anything planned for the weekend?
Well, on Sunday, I'm going to Arsenal, because apparently I haven't heard anything from that. Burnley not having any players due to the African Cup of Nations, or the fact that they got the common cold. So the game's going to be on. And as I said before, Burnley haven't kicked a ball. I don't know when they last kicked a ball, but if we can't beat Burnley and beat Burnley well, then we really do have shattered confidence, because of the start of the year has been bit Arsenal, bit Arteta-ish. You know what I mean? I know it sounds facetious, but it's true. It's Arteta-ish. these are Arteta's results since New Year's Day.
I just want him out, Kenny. I just want him out. I want a manager.
You and me both.
I just want the Arsenal back. Honestly, I know, Kenny, you must feel like this as well. It's been so many years since I can recognize the club I started supporting. It's completely different. When you go before 2004 up to 2004, it's a completely different club. Since 2004, this club has been some jokers.
Yeah, but you know what's happened. The thing is, right, is that Liverpool found it under Bob after their success, and Arsenal found it after Wenger, and Man United found it now. If you don't move with football, then football leaves you behind.
Facts. And at the end of the day, if we continue like this, we could be the next Nottingham Forest, the next Aston Villa. Do you know what I mean? It is what it is. The next Leeds United. These were once great teams, and look at them now. Do you know what I mean?
I'll say this with utmost confidence, right? And if you and feel free to preserve this clip of this podcast. Arsenal will never get relegated in my lifetime. But if it happens, keep that clip.
It's funny how you said in your lifetime, not in my lifetime.
Hey, man, unless my maths is wrong, there's a bit of a 20-year age gap between us. 20 years. I'm sure I'm going to pass away before you.
Listen, it is what it is. You look around my age. I'm 29. You're about that. 20, 29, 30.
No, I'm 49. I'm 49, but I'm gonna, I was born in 1972, so like the 5-0's coming across. You're 30th. I'll tell you one thing. I don't know what you're going to do your 30th. Like they have their 21st birthday abroad. You're probably going to hire a nice little nice little bar, surprise party.
I don't know, Kenny, man. I've just started these mortgage payments. The first one's coming. Yeah, I ain't gonna have much money.
I don't know. I was going to say that you're an age where you could borrow money, but within this pandemic and this furlough rubbish, I'm not sure that there's any. I think what's happening right now is that I think money's worthless now.
Exactly. Just make it rain like you're flipping in Las Vegas right now. But listen, Kenny, thank you so much for coming on.
Much for having me.
Tell the people where they could find you, because everyone's been bigging you up.
Kenny Ken 1972 on Twitter and on Instagram as well. Because I've got 15,000 followers on Twitter, I can do Twitter Spaces. So I've done two in the last few days, and I'm going to just. But you know what? There's no prospect of me being a podcaster because the reason I wouldn't know where to start. So Twitter Spaces, they do all the talking. I just say yes, yeah. Oh, I agree with you. Easy, isn't it?
It's easy. Just go live and then it uploads itself. Honestly, it's very easy.
I don't know. You need to have a dance partner if you're a podcaster, mate. You can't do it. You're Jack Jones.
No, I'm sure loads of people would be up for that. But honestly, Kenny, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
You know what I mean? You replied straight away, and honestly, like I really, 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 really appreciate it, because I got my little. I'm just trying to do my little bit. Do you know what I mean? I started seeing that people like Lee, like yourself.
If you talk about Arsenal, I'm up for it. I love a conversation about the Arsenal. I love the club, everything I've got. You know what I mean?
Well, this is it. So people, listen, make sure you subscribe, like the video, and make sure you catch Kenny Ken on Lee Gunner's channel for his reviews for every match. And make sure you go check him out on Twitter and Instagram. You're quite funny on Instagram. I do like your Instagram.
You got to have a laugh. You know, you've got to have a laugh. I mean, football's the funniest game ever. You can't laugh at. There are some people who say something and they think, I wish I never said that.
This is it, man. It is what it is. You gotta have a laugh, and obviously you're able to put things that you can't put on YouTube. So it is what it is. But listen, people, we're out. Arteta out all day.